start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Shawnee County Board of County Commissioners. It's February 26, 2026. On my right is Commissioner Kevin Cook, who represents District 2. On my left is Commissioner Aaron Macy, represents District 3. I'm Bill Rippon, I represent District 1. On my far right is our counselor, Rich Eckert. And on my far left is Lisa Schmidt, who's our county clerk.
Good morning, Commissioners.
So, County Clerk, what's first?
All right, first item is item 1, presentations. A, Stormont Vale Event Center 5-year strategic plan.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kellen Seitz, Stormont Vale Event Center and Oakview Group. What we wanted to do this morning was present you a project that we've been working on for the last several months alongside members of our advisory board committee, which is a committee appointed by you to help us in the intimate operations and the details of our facility management business at Stormont Vale Event Center. And I'm also joined by some of our full-time director team at the venue as well. So just to kind of get into the strategic plan and kind of how this came about, we spent a considerable amount of time as we operated through 2024 and 2025 trying to figure out what the event landscape is transitioning to. Obviously, 23 and 24 were challenging financial operational years for the facility, so we felt it was extremely important to kind of align our goals and initiatives over the next 5 years, develop opportunities, and certainly seek out opportunities in the event industry and the live event business that were, finding more ways to be profitable. How do we manage and mitigate our indirect expenditure costs, and then develop a series of goals and objectives over the next 5 years to help us be a bit better in terms of financial operation and identify where those areas of opportunities were. So in September, we met with key stakeholders in the community, our advisory board members, a lot of our team members at the facility. I know some of you were involved in that meeting as well. It was a full-day work session trying to identify what we're good at, what can we get better at, what are the industry trends that we've identified. We brought in senior leadership from Oakview Group out of Colorado. We brought in, people outside of the industry into that meeting to help us identify not only where we thought the industry was going, but where was Topeka going as a whole, what opportunities lie within the community and incentives lie within the community to help us bolster the event activity and grow and develop, right? Also, working into those plans were things like the capital contributions of our athletic sport court infrastructure. What are our next 5 years of capital outlay? What does that look like? Where do we focus that spend, those dollar spends, whether it be in critical infrastructure to reduce operational expenditure, or do we produce that into new pieces of infrastructure that drive additional revenue for the building? So what you'll find is that when we went through this process, we developed, we tried to see, again, exactly where the event landscape was, the strengths and weaknesses within the facility, the community, and the industry as a whole. And I want to skip past quite a bit of this here and just go kind of to the nuts and bolts of what we've identified as some of our key strategic initiatives over the next 5 years and how we plan to get there. The first goal we have identified is the growth within our premium seating revenues in the facility. If you recall, and if you've been in the facility over the past number of years since the renovation has taken place, premium seating and the elements around premium seating were a key focus during that renovation project. We built out the Prairie Band in-zone bar, which encompasses about 110 loge box tables. We added 4 additional suites to the facility where there were none prior. I'm happy to say that nearly all of that inventory is sold out, and we need to find ways to develop more because those are key revenue driving pieces of our event operation business. They're highly sought after seats, and they're certainly a piece within the facility that creates a little bit more of that premium or upscale atmosphere in the facility. So, with us here today is Michelle Rose. Michelle Rose is our Director of Partnerships. We've worked very hard to try and find ways we can squeeze a little bit more opportunity out of some of those loge box tables, but we've also identified areas that were also as part of our alternate phase of the renovation project that we can work on with capital investment in the future. And some of those areas are, a party deck platform over that southwest entrance above the security offices and Landon Arena. Additional skyloft boxes in the upper balcony sections, the 200 level sections of the building in the corners, and then potentially expansion of additional lower bowl loge box seating, which would flank the current Prairie Band in-zone bar in sections 100 and 104 at the facility. So we've identified all of those areas of opportunity. We have some of those on our capital outlay plan, or our CIP plan, over the next 5 to 8 years, and how we plan to request that money and give you an ROI and a cost analysis of what it's going to take to fulfill that need, and then what we identify as potential revenue on the back end of that when we are able to sell those assets out into the community. We currently have 4 tables available. I believe there are 2 4-tops and 2 2-tops that are not contracted out of everything we have from a premium seating revenue. So, but of those 4, I believe we just sold 1 last week. So we're down to 3, which is a great problem to have, but it's still a challenge for us, right? We want to provide those experiences for our patrons, our building partners, our sponsors in the facility. So that key area of growth and that strategic goal over the next 5 years is to increase that piece of revenue within our facility by $100,000 over a 5-year term. And how we plan to do that is increasing that investment year over year with increased inventory and or peelbacks of current partnership or sponsorship deals that allow us to resell those tables instead of them being packaged in as part of a sponsorship asset. So we have already fulfilled and hit our 2026 goal by increasing the premium seating revenue of $14,000 over 2025 revenue numbers from that specific segment of business. And then identifying out the next 4 years on top of that, again, is just that schedule and how we plan to achieve that there. So that was goal number 1. Goal number 2 was another piece that is only been able to be fulfilled with the renovation and the expansion that we completed back in 2021. And that is to secure 3 to 4 new pieces of large employer banquet business for the years moving forward. These banquets, when we think about what the banquets are, you've attended a number of them. The Kansas Chamber Banquet Dinner, the 2030 Annual Gala, the Advisors Excel Holiday Party. We added another one this year, so we've already hit our goal for 2026 with another large employer, HME, hosting their holiday party in the facility just this past month. So those are key areas that we've identified for the space of Exhibition Hall and how we can grow that business model within our event operation mix. And those events contribute to a lot of facets within the facility. So it's not just the venue operation side, it's the food and beverage and catering delivery piece. It's the outside event producer piece that comes in to help assist with that. During HME's event, they hosted a sparring match between John Cantrell and one of his former opponents. Wasn't a licensed or official boxing match, but it was a sparring match, which went in conjunction with their holiday party. So a little different approach than, than some of the normal holiday parties who would have somebody like an artist or a musician. They chose to go a little bit more rowdy route. So certainly fun to be a part of, and an opportunity that, again, would not have been possible without the expansion of Exhibition Hall and our ability to fulfill the event service needs of these large employer banquets. So that's another key area we've identified over the next 5 years of growing that business. Again, the stepped up scale, one event over 2025, again, maintaining 2027 level in 2028, and then one event over the previous years as we go in sequence over those next 5 years. Our third goal was establishing some concession sales goals. When we're talking about concession sales, we're specifically talking about event concessions inside Exhibition Hall, Landon Arena, and or Domer Livestock Facility. We've also added in some expanded services up in Ag Hall for some smaller convention and trade shows that are being produced up there as well. But as part of our management agreement with Shawnee County, Oakview Group still has a remaining capital investment to produce for this year and the remaining term of that contract. And we're really focusing in on where that capital contribution can be best spent to produce additional opportunities for patrons, our customers that come into the facility, enhancing our food and beverage services on the concession side, not specifically the catering and banquet side, but on the concession side. And why is that important to us? Because when we have guests and consumers coming to the building, when we're thinking of hockey games and we're thinking of Kansas Kids Wrestling or demolition derbies, you know, our goal is for everybody to have an amazing experience. And that starts from the parking lot to all the way into the facility, from your ticketing experience, from the box office to your food and beverage buying experience at the concession stands, and anything we can do to speed those times up on our end. So we've identified grab-and-go commitment stations, which are portable stations around the concourse and Landon Arena, and really building those out and making those a lot more bolstered in terms of the product offering, the point of sale commitment, so we can push more people through there and have lower wait times. And so we've identified those sales goals over the next 5 years of what that's going to look like and how we can expand that piece of our business. The fourth goal was, you know, marketing our events and our facility is incredibly important. Marketing spend is not getting any cheaper. In fact, it's getting more and more robust as we go along, and we have to spend more money to get placement, advertisement, awareness in the marketplace for the events that are taking place at the facility. So our fourth goal was enhancing our marketing strategies for the future outlook. And this ties both to the events themselves, when we're marketing specific concerts or hockey games or whatever that might be from the event perspective, but also marketing the facility as a whole. And we did a really good job of that, and I'm certainly very proud of our events and our convention sales and our marketing teams over the past couple of years for what we've been able to do with just specifically Heritage Hall and the capital contribution that was made by you, the county commissioners, to revamp that space. And we put a lot of marketing dollar effort into producing materials and incentivizing folks to come back to that facility for private parties, for weddings, for small gatherings, or whatever that might be. And we've seen huge success out of that. So we're going to take that same type of mentality, that same type of marketing approach as we look at Exhibition Hall, as we look at Landon Arena, and kind of more so marketing the facility itself to get those event producers, those tournament producers into the facility. A piece of that, and we started doing this a little bit more last year, is we use those transient guest tax dollars to go out and facilitate some of the industry conferences to provide opportunities to get events back to the building. So last year we attended a conference in Tulsa called Sports ETA alongside Visit Topeka and Mike Bell with Topeka the Topeka Sports
Speaker
Association.
of Sports Commission.
There you go, that's one. And during that conference, we were able to get and contract in PBR to come in for the Shawnee County Fair of last year, and we're really looking at making that an annual piece of business. But in addition to that, we met with groups like USA BMX. We've met with different groups like pickleball associations and trying to attract that business into the marketplace. And we're successful from that trip. So being a lot more involved in trying to make more of a financial commitment to getting our team members there in conjunction with Visit Topeka, the Topeka Area Sports Commission, and some of our local partners to attract that business in. There's a lot of incentives that these other organizations can offer, from bid fund to Hotel Topeka, offering room block packages and rebates back to event producers, and us creating a very competitive bid to get those events into the building. What you've seen come from that in years past are the renewal of a 5-year contract with Kansas Kids Wrestling. And I don't know if this one's been made public yet, but I'll certainly announce it today. From that USA Wrestling, Kansas Kids Wrestling event that we do every March, from that was born an opportunity to produce another large wrestling piece of business. And I'm happy to say that we have contracted and confirmed the USA Wrestling of Kansas Freestyle Greco-Roman tournament, which will also take place that first week of May. Those opportunities don't come without the relationships and the different partnerships in the market, and the significant amount of time and effort it takes our team to produce those events and produce them well for those event producers to bring other pieces of business into the market. So those are all pieces that tie into this fourth strategic goal. And our last strategic goal for our 5-year strategic planning was enhancing our youth sports and youth sports tournaments mix, right? So, we've actually exceeded our 2026 goal with the addition of the USA Wrestling Freestyle Greco tournament that'll be coming in May. So we're already into 2027 numbers for our 5-year strategic planning, just with the acquisition of that one piece of business. But additionally, we produced the volleyball tournament in January using that new modular sports flooring infrastructure that was provided by you through capital funding this past year. That event went phenomenal. The event producer was very happy. We're now talking with that event producer and 2 other private volleyball event producers and tournament producers about bringing content into the marketplace. So these are opportunities that use the infrastructure that we've invested in, but also drive that incremental business revenue and event revenue to get us back to a position where we're financially healthy, we're operating well, we're operating efficiently, and moving into the next 5 years with that same type of model in place to bring more of that activity to the market. Those events have a significant amount of economic impact to the community as a whole when we're talking about hotels and lodging and restaurant and transient guest tax spending. Those are key pieces of business. I know that's not necessarily always our focus when we're booking events, because when we're booking events, we're trying to get content into the building, right? But having those ancillary pieces of opportunity with the economic impact of those benefiting the community as a whole is certainly a wonderful benefit to have for our side. The other piece is an anchor tenant in the building. We were very fortunate over the past 16 to 18 months to be able to contract in our hockey team, the Topeka Scarecrows. And having an anchor tenant like that in the facility not only stabilizes event revenues, but it also enhances the ability for us to do everything else within our event operating mix, right? It allows us to sell more partnership and sponsorship activation because you have 28 more events taking place in the facility. It allows our food and beverage teams to increase their sales volume by offering more products and services at 28 additional events. There's a lot that ties into that. In fact, our partnership with the hockey team has gone so well and been so successful. They've averaged around 2,000 to 2,400 attendees per game over the course of this season, which is phenomenally exciting and a great number for their event in the facility. If you haven't been to an event or been to a game, I highly recommend and encourage you go. The atmosphere, the energy of those events are fantastic to be a part of. But all of that being said, the hockey team is looking at wanting to extend that contract in the marketplace. They've made a commitment to us. They want to do an early renewal. So we're currently working through that to extend their operation in the marketplace. Once we get that done, we'll certainly have some press conference announcements about that, what that looks like, the term, how long fans in the market can expect them to be here. But it takes all of these pieces and all of these different groups and outside organizations and dedicated staff members to make all of this stuff happen. So, I know I've kind of wandered off the tangent of our 5-year strategic plan, but I think it's important to understand that all of these things tie together when we're looking at our operation over the next 5 years and how we aim to get there. So that's all I have. If you want to fire away at questions, I'm happy to start taking them.
Mr. Cook?
I know that we've made some significant progress this year and looking very positive to next year to closing that subsidy gap that we have for the Stormont Vale Event Center. When we did the renovations to Stormont Vale, it was to bring it back alive. Our next step, I think, as the commission is to look at the renovation of Maynard Conference Center to activate that space. With the Maynard Conference Center in its present state, are we losing out to convention traffic that we could otherwise be gaining? And are we losing out to outside, not just in-state, but conventions that would have gone to maybe Lincoln or Omaha or Tulsa? Is there opportunities?
Yeah, certainly. The reality is yes, we have lost the ability to produce some business with the current state of the hotel and Maynard Conference Center. We've lost contracts that we've held for event content due to that condition. I will say, given the nature of where things are at currently and the positive momentum of the hotel and the new ownership opportunity and certainly the renovation opportunity of Maynard Conference Center lends itself very well. And event producers are seeing that, and we're starting to take inquiries on some of that. Still, a lot of that yet to be determined with timelines of renovation schedules and what that's going to look like and when that work could potentially be completed. But the reality, to answer your question, have we lost business in the past? Yes, the answer is yes. Now we work in concert with the hotel management group. We work in concert with groups like Visit Topeka to go back of what I said before. We work as multiple entities to try and attract that business into the market. So I think given the opportunity that the Maynard Conference Center and the hotel is currently going through, the future looks very exciting and very bright for that space. And I think your capital contributions and commitments of renovating that space will lend nothing but benefit to the event center and all the surrounding entities.
From all the research, it looks like we have a great opportunity now that we have the fully renovated Stormont Vale Event Center with the hotel and the Maynard Conference Center being renovated. We have a lot of opportunity to capture business from out of state that we're maybe not just qualified for right now.
Yeah, I think there's our main competitors when we're talking about the live event and or the national or regional convention business, when we're talking about trade show business, our competitors are the Omahas, the Kansas City, Missouris, the Tulsas, the surrounding state large organizers. The reality is we have one of the largest spaces in the state to be able to produce some of these pieces of business that we're chasing. Under one roof, we have nearly 100,000 square foot of event space. That's about 74,500 square feet in exhibition hall, and about 22 to 23,000 square feet inside land and arena, all under one roof, right? With one shared box office, one common atrium area. That amount of square footage for the event production industry is a significant amount, and very fortunate to have that. I think now, given the opportunity with the hotel on site being renovated and certainly bringing those rooms up to a more standardized and modernized level, and the renovation of Manor Conference Center, which again works in concert with everything we do when we're looking at booking those large events, those large pieces of exhibition or trade show or convention business. Yes, we're utilizing exhibition hall. Yes, we're oftentimes utilizing land and arena, but they're also utilizing Manor Conference Center for breakout space, for small meeting space in conjunction with the event that's taking place at Stormont Vale Event Center. So there's a lot of opportunity to work together.
Just a quick question, Kellen. and I know that OVG doesn't manage Manor, but the whole complex works hand in glove, all of it.
Correct. Yeah.
Once we have financing in place for Manor, and once we have a construction contract, and we have a date certain of completion,
Yeah.
do you expect us to be able to book events from that date forward at Manor?
I think we're already moving in that direction, but yes. I think that gives us a lot more identified timeline and delivery time for those large pieces of association business, the convention business that books, quite frankly, a pretty significant time ahead. When we're looking at booking those pieces of business, they're not usually a 12-month booking window. We're talking a 24 to 36-month booking window on some of those pieces of business. So having those dates identified for a completion or a target completion date for the hotel and the conference center only helps build the event revenue and the projected event contracting revenue.
Mr. Chairman, I just don't think people really realize just how busy the event center is right now. I mean, last weekend, you had a very busy weekend. You
Yeah.
had the Lego build in Ag Hall. You had a 250-person banquet for the advertisers in Heritage Hall.
Yep.
You had a boat show that was just packed. And then you had over 3,000 people that came out just, Saturday night alone
Yep.
for the hockey.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people coming through your facility in one weekend.
Yeah, last week was, and that's the whole first quarter, and that's the whole first 2 months of the second quarter. We're full up and running about 1,000 miles an hour at a full 100% tilt that first quarter. Last week was one example of that. We had 4 events taking place in 5 of the spaces on campus. This week we have another 4 events taking place in 5 of the facilities on campus. We have hockey, we've got the Topeka Home Show, we've got a gun show in Ag Hall, and then we have an equine event taking place in Domer Livestock Facility. So there's, that example you just gave is not just specific to last week. That is a testament to what our team has done from, enhancing and increasing the amount of event activity that we can produce on site. It's taxing on our team for sure. Matt Rockers, I don't know how much sleep he's gotten in the last 3 months, but it's not a lot. Our events team is doing the same. Michelle finds opportunity to sell that space. Our marketing team is constantly trying to get the messaging and awareness out of all of those events taking place. But yeah, there's a significant amount of event activity taking place on a weekly basis at the facility that, you're right, I don't think the community knows about all of it.
Commissioner Mays, do you have something?
I guess, so the list of events that you said would be possible expansions and things like that in the future. I know that we've talked before about kind of stacking events to, help with the setup, like
Sure.
mixing a motocross event with a BMX event.
Sure. Yeah.
Or one weekend do volleyball, but while the floor's down, let's do a basketball the next weekend, that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is that even possible now, or is your calendar such a kind of patchwork that it's not really possible to strategize like that?
It's a bit of a yes and no answer. Yes, it's possible. It becomes incredibly difficult and challenging, especially when we're booking events multi-years in advance and trying to find areas of opportunity in that. Again, that first quarter, really Q4 through the first quarter and the first couple months of quarter number 2 are just so jam-packed that trying to find those operational efficiencies is challenging, but not impossible. We're working on some things right now with some events shifting around that would take place in the months of January and February, which would lend us a bit more operational efficiency when we're talking a dirt event into another dirt event, or in a court event into another court event. Those types of operational efficiencies save significant amounts of indirect expenditure when we're talking about labor hours, specifically part-time and third-party contracted services labor hours. When we're able to find those areas of opportunity to make those efficiencies within the event schedule, it saves a considerable amount of operating cost for the facility, and those are things we certainly try to identify. Everything from even on the ice side, which I don't think a lot of people understand or get. The ice schedule is its own animal to tackle because you've got tenant hockey games, you've got youth hockey league with Kansas City Youth Hockey Association and the Topeka affiliate of that. You've got adult hockey league, which is sanctioned through the building, and trying to find areas where they all line up, right? It's difficult, but we work through it, and we always find a way to get it done, and manage through those operational efficiencies.
Kellen, could you tell us the numbers we had on the Kansas kids wrestling event?
Yeah, high level rounded numbers. Please don't take these as verbatim, but we do on average between 20 to 25,000 attendees. Now, a lot of that 20 to 25,000 is the same 5,000 or 6,000 people every day, but 20 to 25,000 bodies through the building over the course of that 4-day week. Of the athlete mix, I think last year there were just about 2,000 athletes who participated in Kansas Kids Wrestling. This year, I believe that number is up to about 2,200 or 2,300 athletes. We've added more mats in Exhibition Hall. We have the ability, not much more ability, but we have the ability to expand in years to come for about 2 more mats of operation, but I think we're going to be capped around that high 2,000 number of athletes for that specific event. When we're talking about the freestyle Greco-Roman tournament, which is coming out the first weekend in May, that event is going to be somewhere between 1,600 to 1,900 athletes, and probably somewhere closer to 10 to 15,000 guests in the facility over the course of 2 days.
Yeah, about a year ago, we okayed the sports floor.
Yeah.
And that you've used that for the volleyball, is that correct?
Yep.
And how'd that work out? Is that
it was great. It was fantastic. We laid 11 courts for that private volleyball tournament, I believe first weekend in January. We're using it, again this next month in March for the NAIA National Cheer and Dance Competition. And then there'll be some Marley matting that goes over top of that. But, that piece of infrastructure is getting utilized. And like I mentioned before, the tournament producer that produced that volleyball tournament first week of January is actively looking at additional pieces of business with us in the facility for 27 and beyond. But we're also talking to 2 other private tournament producers for volleyball specifically. In addition to, continuing to have conversations with Keisha about state volleyball and the potential of that. I don't know how feasible that looks at the moment, but the private club tournaments bring a lot more participation. They had, I think it was 87 or 88 teams for that volleyball tournament that we did in January, and we used 11 of what could have been 15 courts that we can produce. And I think he's already looking, this specific tournament producer, already looking at expanding that tournament and doing the 11 courts or possibly 12 courts inside Exhibition Hall, and then an additional 2 or 3 courts inside Landon Arena for the championship courts. So growing that event and creating a much larger atmosphere.
Now, the freestyle wrestling That's probably not as big as the Kansas Kids Wrestling.
Yeah, it's not as big, but it's still very big. Kansas Kids is one of the largest events that we do at the facility every year, besides Blizzard Bash Demolition Derby. It's the second largest event that we produce.
How much longer is your hockey season going?
You're talking gameplay?
Yes.
Yeah, so they have 7 games left, and 7 home games left in this regular season. They have games this weekend, and then we have 2 weekend series of games the first 2 weekends in April. Unfortunately, no home games in the month of March, but 2 home game series those first 2 weekends in April. That's the end of regular season. Last week, the team was sitting in second place. We lost to the team that we are tied for second place with last weekend, so we've dropped down to, I think, third place currently. But they should make playoffs. They have 15 total games left, 7 of those being home games. And then their playoff schedule will run that 3rd weekend, 4th weekend in April, and the 1st weekend in May.
Last question for me. The World Cup, when it's in
Yeah.
Kansas City and whatnot, what will we have going on at that time? Is there a chance of attracting some of those people to?
Yeah, the reality is the calendar looks pretty light for the month of June, which is about our only light month that we have on the books for this entire year. We have PBR scheduled for July alongside the Shawnee County Fair, but for the month of June, specifically when we're talking about when the World Cup will take place, we don't have a ton going on, but we are certainly looking at opportunities to attract some of that host site business from Lawrence over to the facility and seeing what we can do there to enhance that experience for those event goers.
Well, Commissioner Mays?
Equifest returned.
Yeah.
Could you speak to how successful is that event?
Yeah, Equifest had a tough go, not because the event wasn't produced well, but because of the weather. The weather for Equifest weekend was challenging. That was the weekend we had a significant blizzard. Their attendance was down considerably, but that was due to a lot of their ability to travel in folks from around the state being hindered or limited due to the snowstorm. We are currently looking at, and not to give too much away here, but shifting their event dates into a different month that tend to lend itself a little towards better weather. So we're working on that now, and those are some of those efficiencies that you had asked about with, stacking events. That's one of the opportunities we're currently working on. I have some calls to make as soon as we get done with this meeting today.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Any other questions?
No, thank you.
Thank you, Kellen.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, staff, for all their hard work they're doing. It sounds like it's going very well over there, so thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Next item.
Next item is item 3, consent agenda.
Are there any questions or comments about the consent agenda? If not, I will move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item 4, new business. A, county clerk. 1, consider all voucher payments.
Commissioners, this morning we have vouchers that total $3,293,474.90. The significant payments include $148,634.60 to Axon Enterprise Incorporated. This is for software used by the Real-Time Crime Center, funded by federal grants, county project funds. We have a payment of $220,553.10 to Motorola. That was for the annual service agreement paid with 911 telephone funds. We had $931,768.31 to the Security Bank of Kansas. That's for scheduled debt payment. $850,000 to the State of Kansas Department of Transportation. That's for year 9 of the 10-year bond repayment using sales tax funds. Then we had $134,317 to the State of Kansas, and that is their scheduled general obligation bonds. I don't have any questions regarding the vouchers. Would move for their approval.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Next item.
2, consider correction orders.
I will move that we approve the correction orders.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Next item.
B, Public Works. 1, consider approval of KDOT's authority to award contract C 2026053, for a bridge replacement project on Northwest Valencia Road over the Silver Lake drainage ditch, and approval to commit $339,000 in matching funds to the project. The county's matching funds will come from the county's bridge portion of the 2017 through 2031 countywide sales tax program.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works. Yes, on February 18th, KDOT had a letting on my memo addressed to you guys. You see the breakdown of the bids. The low bid was produced by WCI of Paola, Kansas. And based on that low bid, KDOT has estimated Shawnee County's share of the project construction and construction inspection. Remember, there's 2 bridges on this project, 2 county bridges. We think it's a great deal for Shawnee County, and so we recommend allowing KDOT to award that bid to WCI, and I think we should pledge the $339,000 with your blessing, and look forward to your questions.
Questions?
This is a group we've worked with in the past for other
Yes.
projects, and it's come out very well, correct?
Yes, they've done a number of small bridges for us, and in fact, I think they're in the process of working on another one right now. Yes, we've had good luck with this contractor, and I see no reason not to accept their bid.
Yep.
All right.
I'll move for approval.
Second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next.
2, consider approval of contract C 2026054, relating to a negotiated price from Bettis Asphalt and Construction Incorporated for 6,000 tons of BM-2A hot mix asphalt to be purchased in 2026.
Obviously, hot mix asphalt is one of the important components of our road maintenance strategy. You know, for the last 5 or 6 years, we've only received 1 bid, and that was from Bettis. I think it's safe to say that negotiating a price with Bettis is actually a benefit to Shawnee County. There was an increase over last year, but it was modest. I recommend approving this price and moving forward with the purchase of the 6,000 tons of asphalt.
Questions?
I'll move
Good.
for approval.
Second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Next item.
3, consider approval of contract C 2026055, relating to a negotiated price from Bettis Asphalt and Construction Incorporated for 6,000 gallons of SS-1H emulsified asphalt to be purchased in 2026.
Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works. I don't think I said that on the last item. Shame on me. You know, we can't put asphalt down without putting some glue between the existing pavement and the new asphalt. We call that tack oil, and that's what this is right here, 6,000 gallons. Again, I negotiated with Bettis on this. Really, quite realistically, they're the only supplier locally when you think about transportation costs, so I'm recommending approval of this price of $8.75 per gallon, and with that approval, we'll move forward with purchasing that material. I look forward to any questions you have.
Questions? I will move for approval then.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kurt. Next item.
C, solid waste. One, consider the request to create and fill 2 additional positions within the Solid Waste Department utilizing the Solid Waste Operational Fund, which is a user fee funded and not taxpayer supported.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bill Sutton, Shawnee County Solid Waste. This agenda item is a result of 2 things. We're expanding our internal functions, and more importantly, a retirement of my office manager after 45 years. We typically don't dual slot people, but in this position here, I'm requesting to hire an additional office manager too. That way we can dual slot for a period till she retires, and that way I can try to get some of that knowledge from my office manager, and then just basic continuation of services to Shawnee County. Again, this is 100% user fee funded with no tax dollars used, and I stand by for your questions, gentlemen.
Questions? 45 years?
45 years.
Wow, that's commitment. No questions, I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next.
2, consider a request to issue a request for quotations for the purchase of 1 Class 1 electric motor lift truck for the use at the Household Hazardous Waste Facility. Funding will be provided through the Solid Waste Operational Fund, which is 100% user fee funded.
Bill Sutton, Shawnee County Solid Waste. Speaking of retirements, my forklift at HHW has decided to retire after 54 years. There's no repair parts available, and that hydraulic lift or that electric lift truck is just a fancy terminology for a forklift. So we're looking to go out for quotations for a small compact electric forklift to be used specifically at HHW. Stand by for your questions.
Didn't get another 20 years out of it, huh?
We tried.
All right,
I'll move for approval.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner May, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Next item.
D, Facilities Management. 1, consider approval of contract C 2026056 with Samco for the emergency repair of the J.P. Lewis Health Department South HVAC system, utilizing the J.P. Lewis HVAC Fund 3100 FM 252.
Morning, Commissioners. Justin Landon, Director of Facilities Management, here today to get approval to contract with Samco for this emergency repair for the south side of J.P. Lewis. This is for the replacement of 6 compressors and related components into these 3 units that control the south side. Historically, the south side system has not given us any issues, but 4 of these compressors are original to the system in 2015. We have definitely received their lifespan out of them. We know we've been looking at doing a full system replacement at Lewis, and then we're going to need additional funding in the future. So doing this work should give us the years of needed to add these additional funds.
So these will be 3 brand-new units, and
Essentially, all 3 of
basically
these have
just
been.
replacing the old system.
Yep.
Okay.
All 3 of these have been essentially rebuilt and they're brand new again.
Okay.
All right, I'll make the motion.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Justin, next item.
E, Information Technology. 1, consider authorization of 3-year payment to ThinkGuard LLC for the purchase of backup and disaster recovery services at a cost of $119,700.
Good morning, Commissioners. Mark Price, Information Technology. This is just the final payment of our 3-year contract with ThinkGuard. We implemented a new backup solution back in, I think we signed it in 2014 or 2024 for 3 years, and we've made the payments. This is just letting you know we're going to make our final payment and kind of get your approval.
Questions?
I'll move for approval.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Next item.
F, Commission. 1, consider the appointment of Mark Rezac to the 3rd Judicial District Nominating Commission by Commissioner Rippon.
Yeah, this is a reappointment for Mark. He's already served on that board, so it'd just be a continuation. He's been a good fit for that job.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Next. 2, consider the appointment of Laura Lutz to the 3rd Judicial District Nominating Commission by Commissioner Mays.
Eric Stafford has elected to not renew. He got a big promotion at work and thinks he might need a little extra time in his life. So I was able to talk to Laura Lutz, who is the Director of Government Affairs for Evergy, and she has agreed to serve on this commission. So I would make a motion that we appoint Laura Lutz.
Second. Motion's been made by Commissioner May, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next.
3, consider the appointment of Mark Galbraith to the Planning Commission by Commissioner Kevin Cook.
I have an open spot on the Planning Commission. Mark is retired from the state of Kansas, where he was Assistant Director of the library there, but very involved in planning and come to many of the planning meetings, and so I'd like to appoint him to fill that spot.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item 5, public comment. I didn't see anyone signed up.
I have no one signed up, but if there's anyone wishing to speak, this is your time. Gone.
All right, item 6, administrative communications.
All right, good morning, Commissioners. Dylan Hart with Emergency Management. Just wanted to come up here and talk to everyone about Severe Weather Preparedness Week here, March 2nd through the 6th. As you can see, we start out Monday with preparedness, and then we move into preparedness and response for flood safety on Tuesday, tornado safety Wednesday, Thursday, hail and wind safety, Friday, lightning safety. We will be posting every day, sometimes twice a day, on just tips and tricks for each one of these possible disasters. All right, so there's a couple things that we want to hit on specifically for the tips and tricks we like to talk about. Have multiple ways to be notified. We suggest news and weather apps, a NOAA weather radio, as you can see pictured. And another good one is friends, family, and neighbors. It takes a village, as they say, to be prepared and make sure everyone has what they may need. Next, have an emergency kit. So in that emergency kit, you want to have food and water. You want to have canned foods. High energy food is what's needed. You also have to think about your dietary needs. And for water, it's 1 gallon of water per person per day for whatever your household may need. Also, you need to think about your own specific needs and your own family's specific needs. So any meds that you need if you have to shelter in place for a while. A second pair of glasses is what I have in my emergency kit. If you have mobility or disability issues and need access devices or equipment, think about having an extra set of those, pair of those in your own emergency kit. And then you need to make sure to maintain that kit, check for expired items, check it yearly, and store it in a cool, dry place. All right, so we want to make sure we all have a plan for our household, and you need that plan before you need it. Consider specific needs of your household, as we talked about earlier. If you have pets, right, think about what they may need if they need to shelter in place. Create that plan after you have those conversations with your household, and then you want to make sure to practice that plan with your family and household, and we'll get into a possibility for that here coming up, and that is the statewide tornado drill, which will take place Wednesday, March 4th at 10 a.m. here. We recommend, Emergency Management recommends that departments and organizations participate in that drill. If you are unable to participate in that drill, at least use that time to think about things. The reason we suggest to use that is sort of take accountability. Do you have a plan in place for a tornado? Have you updated it recently, right? Have you done a walkthrough of the area in which you would shelter? updated employee rosters, call downs, if you have staff that's not in the building when that happens, right? Those are the things that we suggest you do to take that time on that day. All right, we also have an opportunity for for a class, a storm spotters class, Tuesday, March 3rd from 7 to 8:30 in the Kansas room of Memorial Union at Washburn University. And that is all that I have for you today, unless you have any questions.
Dylan, what's the best way to get this information to the people of Shawnee County? I mean, how do you disseminate this information?
So you can look at our Facebook page. Again, like I said, every day, multiple times a day, we'll be posting tips and tricks that follow what the National Weather Service has for that week. We will also be linking back to weather.gov and ready.gov that has more in-depth stuff. We'll also be going on the Red Couch to talk about different preparedness activities as well. And like I said, that Storm Spotters class is a good way to get some of that information out as well. So think about attending that.
Okay. Commissioner Mays?
Have you guys been working with any of our county departments on that statewide tornado drill at all?
Sadly, this year we have other exercise activities, but we are in process of starting talks to hopefully have a countywide tornado drill next year when we do not have other exercise activities. So that is what our hope and our plan is.
Okay.
Obviously, if any departments wants to reach out to us and ask some questions, we'll be happy to answer.
Okay. Thank you, Dylan.
Of course.
All right,
Thank you, Commissioners.
Anyone else?
Good morning, Steve Bauman, Shawnee County Appraiser. This is not in any way in conjunction with severe weather, but I am here to notify you and the public that our 2026 change of value notices will be placed in the mail tomorrow, February 27th. In an effort to continue to save taxpayer dollars, we're only sending those notices to the people who have had a change in assessed value. Although, again, this year we're mailing out about 66,000 notices out of the 77,000 parcels. The majority of these will see some type of increase. Our overall median increase is about 5.6%, with some areas experiencing lower or higher changes than that, depending upon the localized market conditions and specific changes to each property. The median commercial increase is approximately 2.6%. The appraised value reflects our estimate of what a property should be able to sell for in an open and competitive market. Property owners who do not receive a notice but would like one can go to our website at snco.us/AP. You can get it directly from our website, along with a lot of other information, including a lot of the information that we use to appraise the property. They can also get historic tax information from that site from the county treasurer, but it's linked on our website. If they don't want to use our website, they can give us a call at our taxpayer assistance line, 232-4461, or send us an email at snappraiser@snco.us, and we'll get it to them. They can also use this contact information to call us with any questions they have about their appraisal, or if they want to initiate the appeal, we can go ahead and take those over the phone. You don't have to have received a notice in order to appeal. You can just give us a call. Numbers on the website. We're going to be providing a media release about this. So the information should be out there. If a property owner believes their appraised value is not in line with the market, the opportunity to appeal that value is starting tomorrow, February 27th, and runs through March 30th. The last day to file an appeal at this level is March 30th. But property owners that do not appeal at this level can pay their taxes under protest in December, or the second half of that 2026 value is due May 10th of 2027. They could protest it at that or anytime they make a payment. And then this information will all be available on our website. And I'll answer any questions if you have any.
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Cook?
So, the big takeaway is notices are going out, but even if you don't get a notice, you have 1 month to make your request for an appeal.
At this level, correct.
Right. And this is usually the level that people would engage at unless they were doing taxes under protest in December.
Correct.
So if you make the protest, is it worth it? I mean, this is the question I get asked a lot. Is it even worth filing an appeal? I mean, what factors does your office look at?
It certainly is. I mean, if you believe that, and so we get appeals based on taxes, which we can't do anything about. So there's nothing we can do about that. So that is kind of a waste of time if they're upset about just the taxes. But if it's the appraised value, absolutely, we want to talk about it. You know, we appraise from the outside, so we make some assumptions that the interior is similar to the exterior. There may be condition issues that we're unaware of, or foundation issues that we're not aware of. You know, they may have additional information that we need to take a look at. So I would encourage it. You know, historically, we've had about 1% of the properties appeal. That number fluctuates from year to year, but, you know, and anywhere between 30 to 45% of those appeals have had some change in the appraised value.
And that's because there's things that your office may not be aware of.
Correct.
So if you have a desire to, if you've had a water leak, foundation issue, fire, something's happened to the inside of your house that you can't see from the outside, it's worth it to make you aware.
Absolutely. And I would also remind everyone that we're not out there every year looking at the house. So we're required to be at each property at least once every 6 years. We're out there more often if a property sells or has a permit. But if there's changes within that time frame since the last time we were out there that we may not be aware of, you know, maybe they demoed a garage or something like that. But
Thank you.
I'll just add to this that just because you get a valuation doesn't necessarily mean your taxes are going up also. It's I think, a misnomer to think that the valuation is the tax, and it's not. So it is one component, but really the key component in property taxation is our budget. And so this is something that is kind of looked at when the budget comes out, and that's how the taxes are figured. But it doesn't necessarily mean everybody's getting a 6% tax increase.
that's correct. Thank you. It's true.
Any other questions, comments? Thank you, Brad. Steve? Anyone else? All right, next item.
Next item is item 7, executive session.
We do have a need for executive session, so I'm going to move that we go into executive session to discuss personnel matters of non-elected personnel for 20 minutes. The subject concerns grant funding in the district attorney's office. And let's meet at about 10:15. We'll start then, and that'll give us time to sign the papers. Okay, we are back in session. No actions taken at this time, so we're adjourned.